Home Pros Radio Show.
Welcome to the Home Pros Radio Show podcast. I'm Tommy Donovan with RIC Home Inspections, and joining me for this episode, my co-host,
Shane Hips with Closing Contractor.
We're recapping some of the highlights of the Home Pros Radio Show from this year in a special Best Of series of podcasts. On the air each week, we like to cover the latest news stories that help illustrate some of the adventures, or should I say misadventures, of today's homeowner. Looking back, Shane, what would you say stands out to you?
The news stories, the one that sticks out the most to me is the guy that shot himself with a nail gun.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds pretty painful. I mean, and you know, you just never know. Well, you always wonder how things like this happen. Then you, like you noted the week later, you're like, you know, I sort of saw myself doing something.
It's so easy to read the story and go, what a dummy. And then a week later, I was like, what am I doing?
Why am I aiming this back towards me?
Not smart.
Because you can't get around to the back of it and aim it the opposite direction.
Yep.
So it can happen.
Exactly.
If he was aiming for DIY mishap fame, Doug Ferguson really nailed it. That's right. This accident with Ferguson happened when he was holding a nail gun on the other side of a piece of lumber. That's a good start right there for that one. Talk about do it to yourselfer.
Sure.
Aiming for a spot he couldn't quite reach. Yeah, that's what you want to be doing with a nail gun. He accidentally dropped the tool, fired it backward toward him, and then first he felt the nail go in and thought, he says, this is a quote, "It kind of stung me." He felt it sticking out of his ribs. That's not good, he thought. Ouch.
It sounds painful.
Well, the fact that he could generate a thought at that point and he wasn't sitting there waiting to go 6 feet under, that's, pretty extraordinary.
Ferguson accidentally shot a nail through his chest and into his heart, then drove himself to the ER where open heart surgery removed a 3.5-inch nail, which saved his life. What do we use a 3.5-inch nail for?
Well, that'd be framing.
Yeah.
It would be like the rough framing.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It's definitely not a finish
That's
nail.
a framing nail, baby.
Oh!
He looked down, saw the nail pulsing with his heartbeat.
Oh, God.
I would be having an anxiety attack.
Yeah, it's
so
kind
bad.
of like he said, this is a quote, "I'm not going to get anything done today. I can see that already." So he drove himself in his truck to the ER where the doctors eventually removed the nail. Actually, what the doctors are saying in retrospect here is it's a good thing he didn't try to pull it out right away.
Oh, yeah.
Probably would have killed him.
Yeah, they would dock him a week's pay, and that would have just added injury to insult, or insult to injury, regardless.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what I was going to get done that day would be the least of my concerns if I saw that thing.
You know what his wife said after that?
What did she say?
And you didn't get the milk?
But isn't that the same thing that happened to Steve Irwin? A rumor had it that when he got hit by the ray.
No, the Stingray came out with a nail gun.
No.
And just popped him right on the boat.
No. When the barb hit him, he actually pulled it out.
Oh, okay. Well,
rather than waiting.
I think Bindi did.
To receive
that was
medical
a big
help.
cover up. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's a good thing that Mr. Ferguson is okay. Folks, be careful when you're working with tools like that. We got a question here from Ed in Morganton. Good morning, Ed.
I bet that guy could go look at the eclipse without glasses and survive.
Yeah, you probably could. That's a good. I would have been like, ah! I would have been like, wait, I guess I'm not going to get anything done today.
Yeah, I would have called everybody I knew. Ma, this might be the last time we talk. I apologize, but,
I'd start.
Wonder if he took a selfie of it.
probably you'd have to.
Yeah, today's age.
We do actually have a good photo of him laying in the hospital bed with that thing sticking out.
There's an X-ray of it as well.
Yeah, is there?
It's impressive.
Well, it made me think, what were the doctors doing? Hold on. Before we save his life, I need a photo of this.
Yeah, this is going to go great with that coffee table book we're putting together.
Among the biggest of news stories this year were related to the hurricanes, Hurricane Irma, Hurricane Harvey. Of course, there's a lot of devastation involved with these. But one of the things that we were able to do is find a couple of stories that told us a little bit about the lighter side of things, including one man who used the hurricane to his advantage right in his own home.
For those of you who are following us on Facebook, our Facebook post this week featured probably one of the most popular visuals from Hurricane Harvey this week. This Houston man who was captured on video diving after a fish and catching it with his bare hands inside his flooded house. Pretty cool. What?
I haven't seen this.
You haven't seen it?
I have not seen this.
Dude, I've got to pull it up. I got to pull it up on. We actually should have it pulled up here on our Facebook page here in the studio.
Now, I know, we talked briefly about this, but I have not seen the image of a guy catching a fish in his living room
it's hilarious.
with his bare hands. See, now, I've always said this. Don't go. I prefer a pool, right? I don't want to go in a lake. I don't want to go in the ocean.
I agree with you.
Yeah, because you wouldn't want a shark or a gar sitting in your living room, so why would you go into theirs? And this fish was obviously way off sides.
Yeah.
He definitely overextended his boundaries.
I tell you what, go to our Facebook page, Home Pros Radio.
Is it on there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you got to be following us, you big dummy. You big dummy. This man's chasing the fish around the room, and then scroll down, right there. Click there. This guy ends up belly flopping around the flooded living room until he grabs the fish by its tail. So the funniest thing is, here are all these people who have been devastated all week.
Yeah, and this guy's got dinner in his living room.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, do you know what kind of fish it was?
I don't know. But the funny thing about it is, because one of the photos associated with the video is him holding the fish.
How big is it?
And then there's also a fish hanging on the wall. Seriously.
Is it a Billy Bass?
Behind him. Yeah.
It sings.
That is crazy. It was neat that Viviana Saldana is the one who actually posted it. She says, why go out looking for food when the food is coming to our living room?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I guess when it came to dinner that night, Viviana could say they were able to spare the rod. Hi, you like that, huh?
Make sure you tip your waiters and waitresses.
Well, you stepped into the living room, you could tell something was fishy.
Jeez. This is getting bad.
Yeah. Come on, give me one.
Like I say, you got a clunker in the front yard, and then you got a lunker in the living room.
Oh, right here. All right. Keep it going.
How about that Barbie Benton?
How about...
Bob Hope shows up.
Strike that. Reverse it. Thank you.
Funny.
Oh, we got that one, and there's another one I want to share. While Hurricane Harvey was soaking in Texas, one man's service dog went into viral fame. Did you see this?
Oh, now that was
Darren,
adorable.
Did you see this one? Otis, a German Shepherd mix, got loose Friday night after the storm passed through a small town of Texas, Sinton, Texas. Houston Chronicle says he was later photographed carrying a bag of food down the street.
He knew what was up.
Yeah.
He knew where to go.
He knew where to get his loot.
And then... So the dog was out getting his loot on. And he's ludicrous. Oh, I love it! Get out of town. So the cutest thing about it was everybody in town knew who this dog was. Mm-hmm. Everybody, he was Otis, and he was basically the Otis of Mayberry. He was just a dog, went and got his food, brought it to the home, put it on the front porch, and sat down with it.
Yep.
I mean, you can't ask for more than that.
No, you can't.
That must have been one big doggy bag.
Oh,
right here.
Doggy bag, I like it. I tell you what, it was neat to see, as devastated as everybody was, something like this, what Otis does, really elevated everyone to a higher comfort level.
That was not a joke.
I thought that was something that was Otis elevator. Otis.
Oh, I get it. No, I get it.
Okay.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, well.
That was bad.
All right, fine.
We apologize for the last 5 minutes.
Oh, that's great radio.
Sure.
Yeah, well.
Shane, over the past year, there have been all kinds of stories that we have shared that are related to...
How not to do things?
Yeah, exactly. Check this one out.
Over the past few weeks, we've been covering some of the different sounds that you may hear in your home, from the smoke detector battery. How about the fireplace igniter? Even the noisy condenser refrigerant lines, which we covered last week, that'll be in your wall. Wow, that's loud. All right. That was a sound I found in a wall in a new construction house. Imagine trying to go to sleep at night with that in your master bedroom wall. Well, a Ross, Pennsylvania homeowner has had a very unique sound going off in his house. It's an alarm clock. It's been going off inside his living room wall every day for the last 13 years. Jerry Lynn told KDKA TV station that he was lowering the alarm clock on a string down an air vent in his upstairs hallway The idea was that he would set the alarm on his alarm clock to go off in 10 minutes. Then he would lower the clock down into the wall cavity and then climb downstairs, and he would hear it, and that would help him determine where he could drill a hole to run a wire for his TV. Innovative, right?
That's definitely innovative.
New way of doing things. Unfortunately, he was lowering the clock, and he heard a thunk. And the clock fell loose from the string and was now stuck in the wall. It's been there ever since. Lynn and his wife Sylvia thought the clock's battery would run out in 3 or 4 months. There's an opportunity for Energizer or Duracell. They can get that thing out and find out whose batteries have been in there. But 13 years later, it's still going. Mr. Lynn says that during daylight savings time, it goes off at 10 minutes to late. And then during standard time, it goes off 10 minutes to 7 every night. But they've gotten used to it. They say the couple said for them the alarm has become a routine sound that they're used to hearing every night. Just cut open the wall and get it. It's drywall, right?
Yeah. I would have definitely done something by now.
I don't know if I could have put up with that. That would have driven me crazy. Now, what's the proper way of doing that? Well, just get a stud finder, right?
They're relatively inexpensive. Even if you only have to use it once, it would beat listening to an alarm clock for 13 years.
Absolutely. And, these devices have sensors in them. So as you scan across the wall, it'll beep, beep, beep to let you know there's a stud there. Some of the nicer ones will actually kind of give you an idea of a little display of where that stud is. It's one of those things that it's worth the investment.
Oh, yeah.
My wife used to have a stud finder back before we were married. She doesn't need one now.
We got a couple of interesting potty stories to share.
Yes.
Learned.
The
date gone wrong.
The date, yes, I remember that one. That would have been quite embarrassing as well.
Here's another important plumbing rule. Whenever you're coming upon a toilet, especially when you're at someone else's house, especially when you're on a home inspection, flush it first before you use it.
Yes.
Everyone knows this. This is just common. This is what you do.
Yeah.
Because we're all in houses all the time.
We have an interesting story here from overseas. It's actually from England. Liam Smith had a Tinder date he'll never forget after a woman threw her poop out the window because she claimed the toilet wouldn't flush. She then had to be rescued after she got stuck in the window trying to retrieve her poop because it didn't go out the window. It was a double-paned window that she opened on the inside and didn't realize there was another pane. Okay. What a pain. Smith told BBC the date was going well at first. The two had dinner and gone back to his place to drink wine and watch a movie, presumably without a pit stop. And things changed when she went into the bathroom and came back with a panicked look in her eye. That's the golden rule. She should have flushed first. The window the woman used opened into a gap that was separated by another window, which is where everything got stuck when she tried to take it out with her hand. Smith said that he left the bathroom to get a hammer to smash the window, but his date wisely decided to try to climb through it and get it on her own. Next thing you know, guess who's there? Fire department.
Oh, boy.
She's trapped. But thankfully, they got her out. And apparently they've had a second date.
That was my question. That was going to be my question, so I'm glad you didn't answer that.
If they end up getting married down the road, they'll have one entertaining story to share. So, whenever you're at a guest at a house, check that first. I've been at homes plenty of times where I go in there and it's like you go to a powder room and it's a pocket door or the door doesn't latch. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, nah, I'll hold it.
We have another toilet story.
Oh, yeah.
Gracie got her hand stuck.
Gracie was definitely an interesting one. Yeah, I guess Gracie was a really Gracie. Well, a while ago that was the one that jumped out was the nail. But now that you mentioned Gracie, yes, that was definitely good.
Funny story this week I just couldn't wait to share with everyone. We had a Texas woman who had an embarrassing moment when she got her hand stuck in a toilet. Did you hear this story, Shane?
I heard it quickly. I didn't get any details on it.
Well, Gracie Henderson told reporters this week that after closing on her home, she got her car stuck in the mud, her new lawnmower stopped working, and she suffered a broken water pipe in her home on the day she was moving in. She must not have hired a home inspector. But apparently that wasn't the end of her ordeal. Things went really down the drain after that. Or should I say they got stopped up. When her toilet became clogged, she didn't have a plunger, and Gracie reached in with her hand to free the clog and got her hand stuck in the toilet. Can you believe that? That's nuts. So anyway, apparently after reaching in, her watch became trapped in the drain, which prevented her from removing her hand. Henderson, who works as a first responder, had to call her coworkers to come rescue her from this crappy situation.
I bet that was a comfortable conversation.
Yeah, she should have called a plumber.
You talk about before she got her in.
Yeah. All right. So it looks like we have another call. Let's see.
Tommy and Shane.
Hey.
This is Gracie from Texas. You're the lady who got her hand stuck in the toilet earlier this week.
Oh, good morning. Good morning, Gracie. What a crazy week it's been for you, huh?
Yeah, well, I would say it's been pretty crappy. I wish I could flush all this mess away and forget it forever.
Well, I have to ask, what possessed you to try to unclog your toilet with your own
As
hands?
you read earlier, I'm new to all this. I've never heard of a plunger. Besides, I'm a huge fan of your show.
Oh, I
and all
appreciate
you
that.
talk about so far is electrical stuff, roofing stuff. I mean, the only plumbing stuff you talked about so far has been about that brown water coming from your plumbing lines.
I remember that. You're right about that. But honestly, this is only our 4th show. So, hey, Shane, can you make a note that we do a little more plumbing topic?
We'll definitely do
Not
that.
a big deal.
All right.
Actually, the dirty water thing was helpful. I actually was thinking it was flavored water, like Willy Wonka. I saw it coming up out of the yard, and I thought, cool.
Out of the
a
yard?
chocolate river.
Oh.
Then I tasted it.
Oh, no, you didn't. Did you taste it?
Yeah, I did. And that flavor wasn't chocolate.
No, Gracie, I bet it wasn't. That water was not coming from your plumbing supply either. Let me ask you, is your home on a septic system?
Septic system? What's that?
Well, I tell you what, Shane, make a note. We need to talk about septic systems, too, at some point. Well, we appreciate you calling in to share your story with us, Gracie.
Yeah, well, that's not the reason I called.
It's not? Well, what's up?
I was here in the kitchen doing my dishes this morning, and my ring fell off, and it went right down the sink drain.
Oh, goodness. You're really having some tough times with your new home, Gracie. Well, no need to worry. Here's how to get it out. Simply look down beneath the sink, and you see where the sink, where the trap is beneath the sink. It's the part of the drain that drops down and curves back up and then continues on to connect with your main waistline. Simply just take the trap there and...
It's not that.
It's not?
I know how to get the trap off.
Okay.
The problem is that... Actually, it's really embarrassing.
Well, that's okay.
I tried to reach down to get my ring, and...
Oh, no, don't tell me. Is your hand stuck in the sink drain?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Well, what are you calling us for? Hang up and call your paramedic friends again. Let them...
No, I can't do that.
Why?
I've been embarrassed enough. If I call now, I'll never hear the end of it. Can you help me?
Well, we can try, but...
No, honestly, you gotta help me out. Come on, home pros. As you can tell,
I really
I'm not
don't
very
have
handy
anything.
when it comes to this stuff.
Well, I'd actually argue that maybe you are pretty handy. Yeah, never... well, let's talk you through this. But you have to listen really closely, okay?
Okay.
All right. What you want to do is...
Hold on. There's a light switch here next to the sink. Let me turn it on so I can...
Don't touch that switch. No. Oh, gosh, Gracie.
Opportunities for us to learn from other people's mistakes.
Yes. I think it's a great idea to learn from their mistakes instead of doing it ourselves.
Yeah, before we're on the news.
Oh, yeah.
Like Gracie from Texas. Well, Shane, that's going to do it for us for 2017. Can you believe? A couple short days. It's going to be a whole new year.
Yeah, that this year flew by.
We hope you enjoyed our news highlights from this year. We're going to keep an eye out for all of the best homeowner news stories in 2018, so make sure you subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Home Pros Radio is where you'll find us. Also online at homeprosradio.com.
Have a happy New Year's.
Thanks for listening to the Home Pros Radio Show. Meet more home pros at homeprosradio.com. There, you can also catch full episodes of our show, along with additional information to ensure that your home is in perfect shape. It's the Home Pros Radio Show, brought to you by Prime Lending, home loans made simple. The Home Pros Radio Show, online at homeprosradio.com or on the radio at 94.5 WGTK, The Answer.